If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday night, 7 p.m. You know what that means. It is time for the Locker Room Breakdown, brought to you by the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. I'm OMD, joined as always by Bubba Duke, the man to my right, by the right hand here at the Boar's Nest and LRB, the Bulkster, and very special guest tonight, the host of the Chris Parrish podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chris Parrish. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Good. I'll look at the left hand because we all know in wrestling, the left side matters.
Unless you're a southpaw, and that's Bulkster.
I keep my secrets private.
Alrighty, let's get this show started.
Kapow!
Right?
All right. So we do actually have quite a bit to cover here. So let's start with the opening of Raw last week on our review in what was a phenomenal opening. Jey Uso comes out only to get taken off of the announce table in a sneak attack by Gunther.
Yeah, we didn't even know where Gunther came from. That was the crazy part. The camera work was so incredible. We didn't see Gunther coming from anywhere until it was Jey Uso out. It was great.
Yeah, it was a great way to open up the show, especially with some fisticuffs. And it was a lot of fun just to see kind of like that amped up aggression really go. It really gets the tempo going, really gets that momentum going. And then eventually we got Jey Uso picking who he was going to challenge at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Bulkster, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was I liked it that he attacked, kind of like just, everybody was in the groove, eating, and then all of a sudden, boom, he just gone from our screen. Like, where'd he go?
Right.
And you see what happened, and then I don't know if I would have at that point had Jay announced he was going to choose him. I don't know if it would have been more better to wait, give it a couple weeks. I mean, we have a few weeks before Elimination Chamber, but like just have these beatings continue until it's like he just fed up. But it was like, oh, I'm fed up now. I'm just gonna pick him.
Right. And I don't think that this was sped up. I think this now allows for the time for them to really build on that story. And whether we see Jey Uso versus Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser, like with a mystery partner, I don't know, in the next 6 weeks to build up to WrestleMania. So I'm actually excited. I thought this was a fantastic way to completely open the show and take the air out of the building all at the same time and get that buzz generated. I was fully anticipating, I fully expected last week we were going to get the announcement. I didn't expect that was going to open the show, though.
Yeah, and I know, like, Bulkster, you and I were both there in Indianapolis for the Rumble, and I looked right at my buddy as soon as I saw Jey Uso winning, and I'm like, it's going to be him and Gunther. Simply because, I just didn't expect Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. Like, as much as maybe, that would be the play, and maybe you could make the argument of, maybe Jey wants to bring the title back to his family against the guy who took it away from his family. I just never really saw that as your end game, but what I liked about this is that you have so many more weeks now to go with it, and I really don't see it really vamping up until after Elimination Chamber. And you mentioned Ludwig Kaiser coming in. What about Jimmy Uso coming in to help out his brother on that thing? Because that could be a very natural fit, because I sadly don't see Kaiser nor Jimmy Uso doing much in WrestleMania. So helping their stablemates or brothers at that end could be the best way to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree. It's
I love it.
there's so many stories too. It's not just the angle of we could have went Cody and bringing the title back to the family. Has anyone in the family held the world title? That's the thing I'm looking at. Because if nobody has really held that world title as it is now, kind of thing, or the big gold, why not be the first one to bring that title to the family?
Well, yeah, I think the history went from Seth Rollins, then it went to Drew McIntyre, then Damian Priest, then Gunther. That's been what this history.
The new one, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
even talking back
Has
to
been.
the big gold.
I mean, if you really count, like, the world heavyweight title kind of came into becoming like the universal, which Roman did have for,
Yeah, I don't count it as
like
I'm talking
it.
just the big gold itself.
I mean, I just think it's more realistic to look at the history of this current championship, and that started with Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. So there we
yeah.
go. He would be the first one to bring it to the family.
Yeah.
Why not be the first instead of, I'm bringing it back because, he stole it from my cousin? Well, no. I'm doing this one because I want to be the first Uso to bring this title.
Well,
to the family.
to add to what you're saying, he's carving his own path. He's not chasing a family
exactly.
legacy. He's creating his own, which is kind of the whole idea
That's
of what
exactly
Jey
what I
Uso
mean.
is right now.
Yeah.
100%. Bolster,
Thank you.
any additional thoughts?
No, like I said, you guys all hit it right on the head.
So
Okay.
up next,
Moving on.
we had moving on. We had Damage Control with the members Dakota Kai and Io Sky defeating Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez in a tag team match.
Yeah.
This one baffled me in the sense of, I understand why you want to, because I know that they're very high on Io. But what baffles me is that you're really pushing the duo of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to the point now we've seen them as part of that video package that had something to do with Jade Cargill. Now, I understand that maybe that kind of brings them back into being more important. But at the same time, if you're really pushing them as a tag team, now they don't really have a spot to being in that tag team picture unless the tag team champions want it. But then you look at their counterparts who just defeated them and saying, well, why can't we do it at a triple threat? And I don't think we really want to see a triple threat.
No, and I really don't think it's needed, especially because you've got Liv Morgan, who, whether she competes in the Elimination Chamber or not, has qualified.
Exactly.
And that remains to be seen over the next week and a half. Bubba.
I'm just going to reiterate what Parrish said. If you're trying to put them in the tag team picture, why let them lose this match? Like, if you're going to set, they should be dominant, because Liv is an ex-champion. Raquel Rodriguez is an ex-champion in her own right as well. She's had the tag title. So, like, you put them together as two champions, now you're making them lose matches that they should be winning. Like, it makes no sense to me.
Right. Hulkster?
No, I don't recall. Was this a clean finish, or was there any kind of shenanigans in the, like, I don't recall.
No, it was a clean finish.
But no, I mean, I didn't know if there was, and that would have made sense. But I agree. They've been pushing Liv and Raquel as like next up, maybe to get the tag title or get a chance for the titles, and having them lose, you would then consider Damage Control is in line for the tag title shot.
Right.
But you still got I know they did the thing with Rhea Ripley costing Io, the spot for the Elimination Chamber. So I don't know exactly. Who knows what they're doing? I don't really. I'm just gonna have to watch and see what happens this week to see
Now, from what I understand today, we do not expect to see Rhea Ripley. Supposedly, she is on her honeymoon now from her wedding last year.
Yeah, she was
So-
actually in Australia for AEW Grand Slam supporting her husband, which I think it was expected that they were going to leave. But Buddy Matthews did look like he got injured at the show, or at least hurt. So I don't.
Yeah.
Taking that away, I don't know. All we know is that obviously the announcement yesterday with the tag champs coming in with Liv and Raquel. I just thought this was a big miss on creating Raquel as that dominant monster who got the job done, because we did see what Liv Morgan did suffer in terms of what happened with her. I believe it was her eye
It was
got
right
that cut.
here,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
right in the corner of her eye.
so.
I'm just watching it. That's why I can say it's right here.
Yeah, it remains to be seen, kind of like what her health
Yeah.
status is. But I mean, I just thought Raquel being that one person who can really be that dominant changing of the game in a match and that X factor was really missed in this specific situation.
Right. Now, we do know that as a result of this, and Damage Control have been in and around the tag team titles for a long
Jeez.
time,
Been a hot
along with PFC, whether they remain to be called that or not. Is this just trying to maybe put more of a focus on the women's tag team championships on both brands?
I hope so.
minute.
I
It
really
needs
hope
to
so.
be. It needs to be. I'm going to agree with Perry. I'm hoping, because we have so many talented women in tag teams, and not even in tag teams, that could tag team to go after these titles. I'd like to see them to elevate that tag title just a little bit more than what it is now.
100%.
Honestly,
100%.
Yeah.
Next up, Bailey qualifying for the Women's Elimination Chamber, defeating Lyra Valkyria. Why do we put our Women's Intercontinental Championship in an Elimination Chamber qualifier when there's been little focus on the belt?
I would only do that is if they have a plan in the next couple weeks to have her defend it at the Elimination Chamber. That'd be the only reason I would keep her out of the chamber if they're going to do something the next couple weeks to brighten that championship. But if she's off the championship and not, or off the PLE, then it didn't make no sense.
I'm okay with champions losing in non-title matches to help further contenders for said title, and really the coming across somebody like Bailey, like it being Bailey, I think it is okay simply because she is a former world champion. She's a former Royal Rumble winner. She's a former, you say it, she's done it kind of person. She is a future Hall of Famer. That's so the fact that losing to somebody like that, I think, is okay. But to your point, being the first match Lyra had since winning this championship, it results in a loss. It kind of stagnates her momentum. I agree. Why? I would have preferred to see maybe Alba Fire against Bailey instead, and then we could have seen maybe Lyra Valkyria looking on. We could have saw something else going in, because we now know that there is a number one contendership match tonight for that Intercontinental title, and Bailey's not there. So I think something else could have been done, but I do think it was there to also kind of see what we have in Lyra Valkyria and Bailey, because let's not take this out of the equation. That was a great match that we got. It was just the wondering of, okay, where are they going with this Intercontinental Championship, and does a loss with the champion really make sense right now?
Yeah. And I'm with you. Like, why is Bailey now not potentially the number one contender? We know she's going into the Elimination Chamber. Does she come out of the chamber and focus on the Intercontinental Championship potentially for WrestleMania?
She could. She has a claim that she's already pinned the champion. So you think from an ego standpoint, if you're a champion and you got pinned in a non-title match, you want to revenge that loss, especially if you're at that honor incredible status of Lyra Valkyria. So I think it remains to be seen. This is why we have to be patient as fans and watch the product and see how it develops. But for the right now, if we're just going to do what we're doing and we're looking at what we know, we're wondering, okay, where is this going?
Bubba, your thoughts on this? You've been quiet on it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match. Both women gave us everything they had. I just wish our champion would have been in a different match. But again, I can't diss the match. It was a good match. I wanted Bailey to win because I'm a Bailey fan from way back, and Bailey won. So I think there's more in store for our champion. They just need to kind of figure out how to get that title to be what it should be for the women. And I think they're falling short right now on utilizing it properly.
Right.
Well, I guess we are getting a number one contender match this week.
We are, but we will cover that later.
I didn't even think of that. I was like, they do have something planned for IC title.
Yes. AJ Styles returns to Raw and gets interrupted by Dom. Bubba.
I honestly hope Dom comes out and absolutely surprises AJ Styles and beats him tonight. Yeah. I mean, I know that's later tonight, but when he interrupted him, it was Dom being Eddie Guerrero. Like, hey, don't forget, we still have better talent. We don't need you, kind of thing. So I'm interested to see where it goes. Again, I hope Dom beats the snot out of him.
Okay. Parrish.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you've introduced AJ Styles to Monday Night Raw now, and you have to introduce him somehow. And right now, Dom is sadly in a spot where he's kind of that first guy. And a win over Dom gets the momentum going, but a loss over Dom really takes it back. I do think AJ Styles is going to pick up that victory, but what I do expect is that maybe we see a Logan Paul kind of take out AJ after the match. I do think Logan Paul versus AJ Styles is a match that could be fun to see. Now, this could be why Logan Paul doesn't win at the Chamber. I don't know. I'm looking way too far into it if I go there. But we all know that lately Dom and Logan Paul have interacted a little bit, and they have said on past podcasts that they would like to work together. I'm just wondering if this is a way to connect the dots with AJ Styles and somebody else, or are we going to see AJ Styles feud with the Judgment Day moving past?
Right. Bulkster.
Yeah, like I said, I as much as I like Dom, I mean AJ, like I said, him coming back, I would assume he's going to be on some kind of winning streak unless they're planning on doing like into a pretty big feud with Dom and have him have like a pretty significant role in a story besides just being a henchman or a lackey of Liv or
Right.
He needs to have something bigger now to keep his. I mean, he has his heel status. I mean, top tier. He ain't gonna lose it, I don't think. But I think he needs to stay in the spotlight, and being in a series with AJ could elevate him.
Yeah, I don't think Dom needs any more elevation. I look at it for Dom as a huge honor to be that first guy up to take on all of this new talent, this refresh coming into Raw. We've seen AJ Styles feud with the Judgment Day before. Granted, he had Finn Balor and Liv Morgan on his team. Is this a way if we see the Judgment Day going with all of these cracks, especially around Finn, is that a way to bring AJ and Finn back together and create a new club?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. We've seen a lot of opportunities come within the last what, 4, 5, 6 years of WWE trying to do a Bullet Club-esque type thing, and they've kind of teased you and not really committed. So I don't know if this is something that they're really thinking about doing. There seems to be more interaction between Finn and Dom and more potential long term there. So maybe this could even be a thing where it's Logan and Dom versus maybe Finn and AJ.
Okay.
I mean, I think if they were going to do any kind of team or like that, they wouldn't have got rid of Luke and Carl. They would have kept them around. Just stick them in there because
Well,
they're
I mean,
friends.
Carl is out for the majority of 2025 anyway with an injury, so he wouldn't have been able anyway. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's hard. Like it's really hard. I mean, a lot of people want to see Bullet Club in WWE, and it just hasn't really come to fruition. They've always teased us, not really gone full in, but who knows? Again, like we really say one in terms of what are they going to do next. It's such a cop-out answer that we have to be patient, but
Right.
I mean,
No,
go ahead. Yeah.
I get it completely. Yes, we have to be patient. We have to watch and see what the story delivers.
Yeah, there just always seems to be so many wires kind of going that, you can really pick one to connect and they'll go with that.
Right. Next up, the War Raiders defending and defeating the Creed brothers in a tag team championship match. Bulkster.
I like this match quite a bit. I thought the Creed brothers were amazing. I think I'm ready for them to, and the whole team with Chad Gable, the American Made. I think they need to have some titles. I mean, and hopefully we get more of it this year. With the whole Chad Gable storyline, you got Ivy Nile kind of in the mix now, wanting to go for gold. Creeds are chasing, but they always fall short. So hopefully soon is their time. But I know they don't want to, they just put the titles on the War Raiders. They want to have them be the champions for a little bit. But hopefully soon we see a change.
Yeah, and I think the one thing we want to see is just more activity with the tag team titles. We've been saying for a while that the SmackDown tag scene is heating up, and the Raw tag scene is defrosting, almost. But it's one of those situations where I think, yeah, as long as we get some activity in the tag team scene with the War Raiders, with the Creed brothers, which seems to continue because they did not have a clean finish. They didn't even have much of a finish at all in that match. I think that's a good thing, and I think it's a good way to kind of get more people involved and invested in not just the War Raiders, not just in the Creed brothers, but the tag team picture in its entirety.
Right. And I mean, we got to look at still potential, whether it's Dom and Carlito now or Carlito and Finn, Dom and Finn from the Judgment Day, because Finn never got his rematch. JD did. And then you've got the inclusion now of A-Town Down Under, whether anything comes out of that because of what happened on Saturday at NXT. Do we start to try and interject them into the tag team picture, or do we maybe start to see an implosion?
Personally, I hope short term we continue on with the moving the needle on the tag team division, the tag team titles. I think post Mania, that's something you can start doing. But I think it's very imperative that Raw gets his tag team situation going, because it just adds that different dynamic to the show.
Bubba.
No.
We can't hear you at all. There you go.
Really? Can you hear me now?
Now we can.
I don't know. I'm gonna beat this mic up, dude. Start No, they need to get the ball rolling on some of these teams, like Parrish was saying, and just if A Town Down Under gets involved, I wouldn't be upset with that because they could be like the perfect heel faction to come in and really elevate some of these teams like the Creed brothers, get them going because those two guys can work great with any two guys that are in that division. So I'm looking forward to that ball collecting moss on the way down the hill till it gets, and we got a sweet tag division on Raw. They just, again, let's go, guys. Let's go.
Okay. Lastly, Logan Paul qualifying for the Elimination Chamber over Rey Mysterio. Bubba's not happy, even though his favorite wrestler of all time won.
You know what? You're lucky this is before 9 o'clock because I hate Logan Paul more than I hate anybody in wrestling today. I think Rey Mysterio should have won. He's on his way out soon. Like he's not going to be able to wrestle forever. Again, I did hear some rumblings, some rumors at this point about something that might be happening with him. So if it does happen, I'm going to be excited. But I'm doing research on it. When I have the actual birds and the duckies all in a line, I'm going to be the first one to tell you guys what's going to happen. But Rey Mysterio should be going to the chamber, period. Not that wannabe wrestler. What's his face? Can't wrestle. Anyway, that's my opinion.
Tell us how you really feel, Bubba.
I can't because there's a lot of cussy words in there.
Parrish.
Yeah, no, I'm on the opposite band here. I think Logan Paul was the perfect choice here, and the reason is you need to find that villain in this chamber match. Right now, you have John Cena, you have CM Punk. You're gonna have one of Finn Balor or Seth Rollins, and let's be honest, you don't hate Finn Balor the way you hate Logan Paul, and you definitely don't hate Seth Rollins really at all. So you really need to find that one person that you truly can't stand. You have Damian Priest in there. You're not hating on him. So you need that one person that, you want to see John Cena beat up on, CM Punk beat up on, Seth Rollins beat up on. If somebody has to go through a pod window, well, Logan Paul is that guy. So you have to have that one heel in that match that everyone can just, have fair game on. And Logan Paul's that guy. But to the point when if you want to get everybody going, that's when Logan Paul gets that elimination. And then he gets to be that annoying heel that everybody wants him to be and everybody can't stand him to. So that's why I think this is very important for the chamber match. You just can't have a good time with all 6 participants. So Logan Paul winning is great. Rey Mysterio, I don't think needs to be involved in the championship picture at all. I think there's other aspects that he could be in, and I'm going to be very intrigued to see what those are.
Hulkster.
Yeah, I agree with Parrish. Logan Paul was the right choice. Ray's been in the chamber before. The very few first ones, I think. That he's been in a chamber. I know that. But Logan just makes the perfect combination to piss people off in and outside the ring. That brings entertainment and smiles to all the people's faces when he gets his comeuppance.
Right.
I'm pretty sure, Bubba, if something happened, you get pissed off, and then you all of a sudden see CM Punk rattle his cage, you're going to be the first one to be like, yeah, you deserve that. And that's what they're going for. That's what they're going for. They're going for that reaction.
But, I mean, never fear, Bubba, because your boy, your Scottish Warrior, is also in the chamber.
Oh, I can't wait for him to get a hold of Logan Paul and toss him through that one of those pods face first.
I think you're going to see him and Logan actually work together in that chamber.
It'll be a tag team.
Oh, y'all can
Wow.
just shut up right now. Don't be ruining my dreams.
And then after the match, we saw New Day jump Rey Mysterio. And that was what they ended the show on. What they didn't show us was what came out afterwards on social media with Penta coming out to make the save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think we could very well get a little bit more answers to. I know prior to his debut, not a lot of people wanted Penta in this position. It was rumored that this was the match, and this was the mystery partner for Ray going up against the New Day at that point. And then it's just been pushed back a little bit. Sadly, I think this is going to be something that we maybe see next week, as we already know Penta's in a match tonight. So,
But don't forget, though, we always say the card is subject to change at any point. So this match could just be a bluff, and who knows. But I like what they're doing with Penta, though. They didn't just jump right into that. I'm glad they're building him up a little bit, and he's getting to tell his story from when he was in Lucha Underground with Rey Mysterio and the matches they had there, and how honored he was not only to meet his hero Rey Mysterio, but to get to work with him. So now you're on what I would, and you guys would agree, is the biggest stage of them all, WWE, and getting that chance to, again, relive that honor and that privilege of working with your hero again. I know Penta is not good at English, okay? I get that, but I understand that you get to work with somebody that you've looked up to for a very long time. That's a huge thing. Like, I don't know if you've got to do it, Parrish, in your career, work with somebody that you had that much respect for. I have, and it was incredible to have that feeling. So I'm pulling for Penta to not only be as big as he was, but bigger than what he can be and what he thinks he can be as one of the greatest luchadors with Rey Mysterio.
yeah, and to add to that point is they get to create new memories
Right.
and new history. And yeah, is his English the best? No, but it's come a long way, and I think this is going to just be another way for the audience to accept Penta, because nobody hates Rey Mysterio unless it's his kid. So I think the fact that it's, guilty by association, and they can go both in a bad and a good way. So
Yeah.
I think this is a good thing. It's going to get Penta a little bit more, just kind of that acceptance from the WWE fan base. But it also gives you a short-term thing to do for right now, because I don't think you can just do match after match after match. Eventually, you have to get a story in there, and that's hopefully what we get tonight with the second match with Pete Dunne.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on to tonight.
Let's go.
Let's do it. We're going to start with the men's elimination chamber qualifier, Seth and Finn. Who do we have?
Seth.
Bulkster?
I'm gonna go with Finn.
Oh,
The
okay.
reason why
Okay.
I was pulling up before we go into this comment, because I said, man, Seth and Finn has had fights before. What is the record between the two in one-on-ones? And right now, Seth is up 8-2. So this is their 11th match they've had. So I think Finn needs a win over Seth to not become 11-2.
Huh. That's interesting.
Bubba.
I would, and I hate to go against Finn Balor, because I've been watching Finn Balor for quite some time. But I think Seth is just at that point where he needs to be in this match at Elimination Chamber. But I think tonight it's not going to end the way you think it's going to end. I think there's going to be something that's going to happen that's going to eliminate Finn Balor from being able to go. Whether it's going to be interference or just something's going to happen. I just have that feeling. I'm going to call it now. Something's going to happen. No Finn Balor at Elimination Chamber.
Okay. I like Bulkster's thinking, and I think Finn needs this opportunity more than Seth as part of his when you listen to Finn, you win type of situation with the Judgment Day. Seth really doesn't need the Elimination Chamber to potentially get his rematch with Punk at WrestleMania, whether that be in the triple threat, whatever it may be. I do see somebody costing Seth, and this is WrestleMania season, so even though the transfer window is supposedly closed, I think we're going to see a lot of people jumping back and forth, so I would not be surprised to see a potential Drew McIntyre take out Seth.
I think what I think might happen is what we have is maybe an answer to, the backstage segment when Dom asked Finn that, hey, we need to maybe think about a new member. And that new member could very well be Logan Paul. That's why his name has been associated with. Logan Paul's in the chamber, and he could be the only one in the chamber if he was to be a part of the Judgment Day. So I would almost have a confusion thing happen where he does get help from the Judgment Day. It doesn't work out. Seth does pick up that win, and then maybe we have a little bit of a power tussle between Logan Paul and Finn Balor, and then that's where Dominic Mysterio says, hey, maybe we should actually listen to Logan Paul since he's actually qualified for the Elimination Chamber.
Right.
And it's just another one of those petty shots that those two have been kind of given to one another.
Right.
And then you can get the instant backing from Raquel and Liv, who, from there at this point, they both could be in the chamber as well, and then they could just kind of team up on Balor.
Now, would that also maybe not lend credence to the fact that Logan Paul has defeated a Rey Mysterio on a major pay-per-view when he teamed with The Miz against Rey and Dom?
Well, he also won the United States Championship from Rey Mysterio as well.
Too. So could he not be the guy could that make Logan Paul the guy that Dom sent Chad Gable to?
One, if do you think Chad Gable is going to go to Logan Paul for wrestling advice?
True.
I was also thinking that with my option with Finn, like I said, it hasn't been that far ago, but having Finn in the Elimination Chamber after Damian Priest went to SmackDown to get away from Finn, and then him maybe being in the two pods across from each other, and and it'd be awesome to see Finn cost Damian in the chamber, that he pins him or cost him or something to make Damian not win the chamber, and he's like, I can't get away from this guy. I left Brands, and he's haunting me. I thought it'd be kind of cool little throwback.
Right.
It could happen, dude. This is a new age. Anything is possible, my friend. Anything.
Yeah.
What do we have next?
Next up, we have the Women's Elimination Chamber qualifier in Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez.
This one to me is the toss-up because I honestly could see either one. I am going to lean closer to Raquel Rodriguez on this one for the whole reason why I don't think Roxanne Perez is officially on Monday Night Raw yet. I think she is getting an opportunity based on the performance that she had at the Royal Rumble. I think she will officially move up to a Raw or SmackDown, presumably Raw after WrestleMania, and be one of those quote-unquote after Mania call-ups. But I do think what we're going to see is somebody from her, like Roxanne's Perez's past, either come into play, or this is exactly where we see the Liv Raquel, Bianca Belair, and Naomi interaction begin. It's going to be one of the two, if not both. We know that wrestling has a constant, let's F around and find out. But
Right.
and we all know I appreciate that, but I think this is the one where they're going to be very intentional with what they do, and I think that is what we're going to see. Having Liv, Raquel, and Naomi and Bianca in the chamber, I think is the more intentional thing to come.
Right. Folkster.
Yeah, like I'm kind of like on the fence, like Parrish is. I can see pros and cons of both of them being in the chamber. Roxanne is just a tremendous talent, so and it is kind of strange because you got two heels facing, basically. So Raquel would help because she's a bigger gal and can do some of the heavier lifting in the chamber. Then also she can help out Liv, where they can work together and use those double team tactics to, but then you have, like I said, you have Roxanne. So like I said, I'm really pondering as in what's the best avenue. As in calling in, I mean, they might do a mixture, man. Like I said, and like I said, things change, so they might not do your typical call ups after Mania, and it's like a blend. Like, okay, we're just gonna throw her in here, and eventually she'll just be there.
Right.
Maybe do it after, So I'm gonna choose Raquel. I don't know what would cause Perez to lose. I don't know if it'll be a clean win or if it'll be just because Liv might help or whatever not, or Judgment Day in general. It's going to be an interesting match regardless. So I am intrigued.
Bubba.
Yeah, I'm with Perry. I don't know, man. Like, you gotta. Both these women deserve to win, and you want to put Raquel in there because she's a bigger woman, because she can, like he said, she can dominate that cage. I'm gonna go win. It's gonna be Roxanne Perez.
Okay. I am going with Roxanne Perez on this one because she holds the longest record for the Royal Rumble. She was the last one eliminated. Factoring in, as Parrish alluded to, the Women's Tag Team Championships, whether Liv can even go or not, who knows? So that may open up another spot for a last chance match next week. And I think that Roxanne fits that mold that you were trying to potentially go for with Elira Valkyria, who lost last week. Not to mention Roxanne's issues with Bayley. I think those are going to come in and play a factor as well in the chamber. So for me, it's Roxanne.
Something that I was thinking kind of as we were talking was, what if this is your way to bring in Becky Lynch back into the fold? And you wonder, okay, what are you drinking and where does this make sense? We know that the tag team champions are coming to Monday Night Raw and they're targeting Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. What if this is done before the match starts and we find out that Raquel Rodriguez is not cleared to compete in the match tonight? She needs whatever the case may be. She's, so we need to find a replacement for Roxanne Perez. And that can cue up your, oh my God, she's back moment. Becky Lynch can come out, and that is where she picks up the victory. Maybe Bayley does sticks her nose in, or maybe we just see Becky Lynch be Becky Lynch. Picks up the W. She's in the Elimination Chamber now. You add more star power to the Elimination Chamber, and maybe we have a vessel between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch one more time. Who knows? It's just something I thought of. I thought I'd throw it out.
Right. Absolutely. All thoughts are appreciated here at the LA.
Down for that, dude.
Up next, Penta and Pete Dunne.
Yeah. The first one, great match. These two guys definitely elevate each other to that next level, and pushing Penta to that next level is a great idea.
Right.
Period. And as far as Pete Dunne's concerned, this gets his ball rolling even more, which is good for him because he's been kind of hit and miss a little bit.
Right.
So I'm down with this match. I'm hoping it's going to be my match of the night.
Okay. Hulkster.
I'm always looking forward to seeing Penta wrestle. You know, ever since he's kind of really surprised me. He's made a lot of the Bulksters chicken palm moment of the night, champion moment of the night. And with this, I didn't know. Well, I did see a clip of the New Day attacking Ray after the thing, but I did not. Apparently, it cut off earlier than that I did not see Penta come out. So if that is the case, from what I gather from that, I would assume this is a throwaway match to build maybe the New Day say, hey, you interfere, we're going to interfere on yours and come out and that'll cause that rift. If like I said, I didn't see it. I'm taking you guys' word for what happened, and that's what I think will happen if that's what happened.
Right. Parrish.
Yeah, and I think the one name that we haven't really tossed in is Ludwig Kaiser, because he did attack Penta after their match just a couple weeks ago. So he clearly doesn't have finished business with Penta in his mind. So I do think that maybe we see somewhere along that line, and maybe we see Pete Dunne and Ludwig Kaiser kind of team up. That's where Rey Mysterio can come in. All of a sudden, that's where the New Day comes in. And then the one person to kind of equal out could be very well Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker, who also shared a moment with Penta a few weeks ago. Again, we don't know if that is a negative reaction or a positive reaction, but we do know is that a lot of people are climbing to be Intercontinental Champion. Ludwig Kaiser's there, Pete Dunne could be there, Penta could be there. It's just a way to maybe connect all the dots around here, and maybe, just maybe, we get a multi-tag match for next week, or maybe we get an Intercontinental title match for Elimination Chamber.
Right. And, you know, to your point, you've alluded to Ludwig Kaiser and that team up, the New Day coming in. Could bring in the rest of the LWO. Another name that is supposedly his release is supposed to be done very, very soon is Rey Fenix.
From what I understand, that is down, that is closer to the third quarter of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
And what I was reading the other day, they are working on terms now to get his release done.
Yeah. Anyway, we all know that right now it's not imminent.
Right.
I think that's.
But there's another name to put in there, and another man close to returning from injury is Tyler Bate.
Yeah.
That would be a name for him if you were to get Tyler Bate now, and then if he and Pete Dunne are to get back together, that would definitely add another set of toys to play with in that tag team division that I'd be really okay with. In fact, I'd even think about adding or turning Tyler Bate heel, re-adding those two, and then pairing them up with Kaiser, and then you almost kind of reform Imperium a little bit with a new age there, and then you can add maybe an LWO going up against them with Penta, or you can go in somewhere else. I do think, something can be, pun intended, done with this scenario.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we don't have a whole lot of time left, so we'll get through these next three quickly. AJ Styles and Dom.
AJ.
Hulkster?
AJ Styles.
Yeah, I'm on AJ as well. This is his return match to Raw. I'm a huge Dom guy. I'm a huge AJ guy.
No, you don't want Dom. No, you don't want Dom.
All right. Women's Intercontinental Championship #1 contender match. Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile.
And this is a no-brainer. It's Ivy Nile.
Yeah, I want to see Ivy Nile like really get like some showcase here.
Yeah, right now I do think it's added for Ivy Nile. I do think that this is going to be a very intriguing match. I know OMD, you want your girl to win this one, but I think right now the plan is probably Ivy Nile and Lyra Valkyria in some shape, way, or form.
I'm with you. I do want Dakota to win because, she was the one that lost the Intercontinental Championship finals, but I do think it is going to be Ivy Nile. That seems to be the story they are pressing forward with, whether we see that again at the Chamber or whether we see that the Raw after, whatever the case may be. I think they're going Ivy Nile. Bianca Belair and Naomi set to appear.
Yeah, we are pretty well covered why they're going to be there. They're after, Liv and Raquel.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna probably corner them, and then most likely we're gonna get some like, we have no clue what you're talking about. And like I said, I think it's all smoke and mirrors until Jade comes back and actually reveals who it was.
Right.
It was me.
Yeah, I think I think it's going to be just exactly what you said, a distraction, smoke and mirrors, whatever the term you want to call it is. It's just a way to kind of prolong the inevitable is that one of Naomi or Bianca, if not both, were the ones that attack. That is personally what I think will happen. Because another person they have not talked about is Piper Niven, who we know when they saw the attack and Bianca went there, we saw Piper Niven in the background there. So we know that's going to be a thing as well. I think this is just a stopgap and potentially a way to bring the tag titles towards Liv and Raquel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think this is just going to add more focus to the Women's Tag Team Championships, which is sorely, sorely needed. Mm-hmm. And lastly, we have Sami Zayn set to appear.
And
He's covering what happened to him? Really? Like, just a filler?
yeah, he, like I said, and who knows if Karrion Kross is going to get involved in this, because he did post a Twitter thing making fun of Sami today or maybe yesterday evening. But anyway, it was kind of odd. But then he got serious because it's more of a comedy, and then all of a sudden he took off the wig and everything. Was
right.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to be obviously a tie-in to Kevin Owens. We're going to see kind of maybe Karrion Kross come out, play kind of that interrupted distraction for Kevin Owens to maybe try for another attack. I think Sami gets the best of him, and then maybe we see a stare down with Karrion Kross and Kevin Owens, or in some way maybe it's Sami staring at Kevin Owens, but Karrion Kross is lurking in the background to kind of be a foreshadow of what maybe Sami Zayn's WrestleMania plans could be. But yeah, no, obviously we're gonna set up for the March 1st before we settle up for April 19th or 20th. So I think this is just showing you the pathway of Sami Zayn for the next few months.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, guys, we have to get out of here and head over to Turnbuckle Studios very, very shortly. So very, very quickly, Mr. Parrish, tell the people where they can find you.
Where you can find me is right here at my destined location. But if you want to do it online, then make sure you're checking out my link tree at linktree/Chris Parrish. You can find the 5 platforms of Doom. That is my YouTube, my Twitch, my X, my Instagram, and my Facebook. That is where you can see the Chris Parrish podcast every Sunday, 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks to the proud sponsors of Barricade YEG, where you can find them on Instagram and on Facebook and on the X account and at 10544 82nd Avenue.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Bulkster.
You can find me on YouTube on The Bulkster Show and TikTok at The Bulkster Show. I do just personal things, skits with my wife that she doesn't know about, just random things, and then YouTube, I do gaming. I try to stream occasionally here and there.
Okay. Bubba.
Yeah, buddy. You can find me YouTube at Bubba OMD, and over there on Twitchland, Boris Nest with Bubba Duke. Check me out.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at my link tree, linktr.ee/OMD show. We have to get out of here. We have to get over to Turnbuckle Studios for the Raw Patrol. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, from all of us here at the Locker Room Breakdown and Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there, wherever you are, good night, good luck. We out.
If I